One of the greatest skaters of his time, maybe all time. After a brilliant amateur career, he didn't have to raise the bar anymore. He didn't have to keep competing. He didn't have to give us anything else, anything more. But he has, and he will. Move it on. Kurt Browning is on ice tonight. They are expecting a full house tonight. No wonder. Some of the very best pros in the planet right now. If you were with us earlier today, we're already halfway through this event. We had the technical program, emphasis on spins, on jumps, on technique, and tonight it's the artistic program, emphasis on art history. Speaking of artists, how about Kurt Browning? He's the leader in the men's division. Brian Orser is second, so it's 1-2 Canada right now, but Kurt, many people think, is skating better than he ever has. We'll see Kurt Browning a little bit later. Karen Kadavy leads the women's ranks. Josee Chouinard of Canada is second. And the pairs, Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler, lead the way into the artistic program, but the story tonight in this program is about Barb Underhill and Paul Martini. After 21 long years of giving us their magic, they have decided that this will be their final Canadian professional event, and Barb will join us a little bit later because she's working, obviously, but Carrie Leach will be with us all night long. Barb and Paul gave us so much for so many years. I'm sure they'd like to go out with a victory.
Oh, I'm sure they would, Rod. You know, in 1962, Otto and Maria Jonick won the World Championship for Canada. In the past 35 years, we've only had 2 World Pairs champions. 1984, Barbie and Paul. 1993, Isabelle and Lloyd. And here they are, battling it out for the Canadian Professional Championship this evening.
So many memories in their scrapbook. What is your favorite Underhill and Martini moment?
Oh, there's been many, many great moments. I think probably 1984 will always live with me. They had a disastrous Olympic championship. They were hoping to be medalists. Came back a few weeks later and won the World Championship with probably their finest performance. They're comeback people, and I'm sure that they're aiming to come back tonight.
We'll see if they can. In just a few moments, the pairs artistic program. Kurt Browning to come a little later, but now let's go downstairs to our ringside reporter. Here's Sandra Neal.
Since this is Barb and Paul's final competition in Canada, both their families are here in the audience to show their support. But one skater who won't be on the ice for his artistic program is Joseph Sabovchik. He fell in the technical, suffering from a sinus infection, and he's withdrawn from the competition. And Elizabeth Manley, devastated with her 5th in the technical, gave her mom a call last night in Las Vegas for a last-minute pep talk. But remember, she is skating on a fractured left foot. Rod?
The men and women to come a little later. First, the pairs artistic program. Leaders, Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler. Kavarikova and Novotny. Underhill and Martini in third. And they will skate in reverse order, with Brasseur and Eisler last. Barb Underhill and Paul Martini. Their farewell competitive performance to Canadian fans.
Way over yonder is a place that I know. Well, I can find shelter from the hunger and the cold, and the sweet taste and good life. Even deep down, way over yonder. That's where I'm bound. That's where I'm bound. I know when I get there.
Throw triple sock out. A little bit of a flaw. She just over-rotated and stepped out of it, but judges won't take much off for that. This is a very difficult program, and it was choreographed by Laurie Nickel, who is does Michelle Kwan's work. So it's got a flavor to it than they usually skate. Death spirals, and that's probably the most common one, the forward inside.
A smile, and maybe a sigh, too.
It's a sad moment. They've offered so much to our sport, and they've taken it to a completely different level.
The marks for Barb and Paul, their final Canadian competitive event in a moment. There's Barbie and Paul. 21 years of magic together. A world championship, 5 Canadian titles, and so many memories.
Good. Large in size?
Yeah, here it is. Have a look.
Here's the stroke triple sound. Now it's just over rotates. It just can't hold the landing.
They must win this event in order to qualify for the Landover Championship.
We're going to stop this. This is a forward inside death spiral. If we stop it right here, guys, you can see that she's on the inside portion of her blade there. And then the arch takes place. Okay, now keep it going. The key is this toe. If we stop it here, the guy has to stay on the toe right there. Otherwise, they lose marks. Keep it going.
Yeah, no, it was on musically. Got a big whomping.
Here's a throw single axle, as Paul said, a big whomping one. Well done, controlled, good height, great distance.
And the reaction from Barb's family. There's Samantha. There's husband Rick. You know, sometimes we watch the skaters on television for so many years and forget that they have their separate families, their separate lives, their careers, their other paths. Barb, of course, is our figure skating analyst on CTV. Paul does some TV work. He's a coach now.
9.8.
But it's not going to be the same.
We're all going to miss them, I'm telling you. I'm certainly going to miss them.
9.7 and 9.8.
I use them more times in my teaching with the young teams. I always say, watch that pair team. They've got it all.
Compare them to the greatest teams you've ever seen.
Right up there. The Grinkoff, Gordieva, Martini, Underhill, Protopopov still always be in my memory.
9.8 and 9.8. Total score is 97.9.
Their total for two skates, 195 for Barb Underhill and Paul Martini.
Okay.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Rudy Kavarikova and Renee Novotny.
In second position, but just barely, because they were tied with Underhill and Martini, but they did have a better technical mark in the technical skate, with Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler, the leaders. This is Radka Kavarikova and Renee Novotny.
Simple move, too. They just got their feet tangled over their tracking problems.
Two great duets. Radka Kavarikova and Renee Novotny On ice.
Radka Kavarikova and Renee Novotny.
And on disc, Sarah Brightman and Andrea Bocelli. Time to say goodbye. World champions, 5-time Czech champions, Radka Kavarikova, Renee Novotny. Miscue. That really might hurt them.
There wasn't a great skate. They just didn't seem together. There was a couple of cross-cut problems. This is the throw triple toe loop. She lands it on 2 feet. The pretty flagrant mistake there. Then the stumble right here. Watch, they catch the feet. Her foot actually hits his. He goes down. It's an unfortunate fall.
How much in this program, though, because it is an artistic program, would the judges dock?
They'll reflect that in their marks because artistry, a fall obviously is not artistry.
9.6, 9.6.
Underhill and Martini
9.7.
had a score of 195 combined with their
and 9.7.
technical skate from the afternoon.
The artistic marks.
Here come the second set of marks.
9.7, 9.7, 9.8.
And I don't think they are going to be able to beat Barb and Paul. In fact, no. Their score is 194.1, so they are second, and Underhill and Martini are first.
Paul, Barb, wow. That was your last competition, your performance in Canada, maybe, period. What was going through your mind out there?
Skate well. I mean, when you're on the ice, you can't let those kinds of thoughts run around in your head, because if you do, you won't be able to do what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, I really haven't even thought about it all day. I mean, I've just been focusing on trying to skate as well as I could, and probably later on tonight I'll have a beer and think about it.
I think it hit me a little bit when we finished, and, you know, I was satisfied with how we skated, and I looked up into the audience, and, you know, I saw my little girl, and she was holding up a sign, and "We love you, Mom," and I just thought, you know, I'm not going to see that, you know, for much longer, and so enjoy this moment.
The audience is going to have a hard time giving you up. We don't want to give you up. You're completely comfortable with your decision, though, aren't you, both of you?
Absolutely. For us, it's a matter of we just don't have time anymore to get into the practice rink. We're so busy. And to be fair to our skating, we just can't do it anymore. But I think at the same time, as much as we're going to miss it, we're looking forward to the day when we can put our skates away and you know, look beyond skating at other things in life. There's so much more out there too. So,
what would you two like to say to each other after being partners for 21 years? Your final skate.
What would I say?
You better think about that between now and March 27th.
I mean, if this was my last competition, it certainly was one that I'd like to think, as it was 20-some-odd years ago, she thinks I skated my best that I could on this night. And if that's what she thinks, then it's been great.
Did you think that?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I'll treasure the times, you know, when we're just standing by the boards, and I know he's feeling exactly what I'm feeling. We're the only two that are feeling that, and I just grab his hand and give it a little squeeze, and you know, I know he's thinking the same thing, and we've just always supported each other 100%, and we've been really lucky.
Thanks for the memories, you two.
Oh, thank you.
Back to you, Rod.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Isabelle Ressour and Lloyd Eisler.
And sporting a rather different look. I think they're going back a couple of decades. Isabelle Ressour and Lloyd Eisler. A little cool in the gang.
Lloyd probably wishes he had that much hair for real. Any time getting right into the difficult lifting. Here's another, the hybrid lift, 2 in a row, back to back.
deep.
Standing O. They had this place humming, as they always do. There might be a gold medal celebration in a moment. Okay, I've stopped Kerry Leach from dancing around up here. Now, back in the 70s, were the skaters wearing flares like that, and did they have costumes like that?
I don't know. I wasn't born then, Rod.
Isabel and Lloyd, boy, can they rock a house.
Fly high, say bye. What a great name for a lift.
My arm got cut.
Do they have the best tricks in the world?
Oh, unquestionably. Here's the chainsaw that Scotty calls us.
Yeah, I know, but I wasn't ready.
Takes it right around twice. They unquestionably are the best lifting pair, most adagio work, and certainly know how to bring a crowd to its feet.
They have such a wide-ranging repertoire as well because they can do so many different numbers, from classical to disco. And there, Mr. and Mrs. Eisler.
My mother.
Usually, Lloyd's dad throws the hat out on the ice. He did it at the Olympics. I think he's saving it now. Professional competition.
Exactly.
Lloyd's put in all that money. He's just buying his dad hats now.
Dad's running out of hats.
I don't think there's really any doubt who's going to win this competition.
9.8.
And keep in mind, they've been runners-up the last 3 years in a row in the Canadian Pro.
9.8.
Runners-up no more.
The artistic mark. 9.9. 9.9. 9.8.
That's good because sometimes they get hurt on the artistic mark, and certainly they're being rewarded tonight for that.
Hand it to them, $50,000. First-time winners of the Canadian Professional Figure Skating Championship. Isabelle Berser and Lloyd Eisler. So the team that excelled in the early 90s in Canada, Berser and Eisler, wins this event. The team that owned the 80s, Underhill and Martini, in second. Skating to Cowboys' sweetheart, she was Canada's sweetheart. In '88, she won the U.S. Open last week. But Barb, she has a stress fracture in her left foot.
Absolutely, and so that's playing havoc with her triple toe loop. Instead, she's going to do the triple sow cow in this number. She debuted earlier this week in Calgary. We were at a show with Brian Orser, and the place was rocking. This number is tailor-made for her. Is there anybody in this sport with more energy than she has?
And courage, too, because really
Elizabeth Manley.
she's thinking about putting her foot in a cast in the next little while because she's in a lot of pain. But she endured it. And the fans love her anyway. Liz Manley. Carrie, quite obviously, Elizabeth Manley's tricks can be better than they were tonight. But you were right, Barb, when you say all that energy.
It's unbelievable. I think the wind was knocked out of her sails a little bit, though, after last night's performance.
Well, she did two doublets and double flip and a great double axel right there. That's the replay on that. She went to do a triple sow cow and decided to do a double. Unfortunate, she did a great triple in the warm-up. But when you're worrying about a foot and you're doing 3 turns in the air, you tend to, rather than perform, you think a little bit too much.
For Elizabeth Manley. 9.6, 9.7, 9.7.
First set of marks will
9.6,
set the standard for the rest of the women to come.
9.6 and 9.7. The artistic mark.
The artistic mark, which is more important in this program.
9.7,
9.8, 9.7s.
9.7, 9.7, and
Liz Manley with
total score
a
is
total of 96.8 for her 2 programs, a total of 192.7.
Okay. Now I can relax.
In 1994, she skated first in the technical program. She is currently in 3rd position.
She really had some difficulties with her jumps in the technical program. This is a new program which she's debuting here, and I have to say it's always a little scary to perform a number for the first time. Skating to That Girl by Maxie Priest. Watch her feet go here. She has the neatest, cleanest feet.
I love the face.
She's got rhythm, that's for sure.
Good triple sow cow. First jump, she had planned a triple loop jump and decided to double it, but came back with excellent triple right there.
Yuka Sato.
Yuka Sato.
Has a wonky right ankle. Did all right tonight in Kitchener. Her marks when we come back to the Memorial Auditorium. Yuka Sato, who was third after the technical program. Roz Sumners is our leader right now with 193.0.
That was a tough program, I thought, choreographically. It was full of steps, footwork, changes of edge.
Here's the triple Salchow. She did this very well.
She's been a little tentative on her jumps, hasn't had the confidence that she's displayed in the past.
Now, if we're gonna stop this in a minute, right as soon as she gets in the air. Okay, if you don't mind stopping it. Now watch when she lands. The left foot is not to touch the ice. Okay, keep it going. Now watch for the left foot right there. She touches that foot down. So there's going to be a little bit of a deduction for that.
Keep in mind that she is skating hurt. She does have a bad ankle. She had 2 massages on the ankle earlier today and rubbed just before she went on.
And I think that's part of the reason she didn't have the confidence to do the triple loop that she had planned, taking off of her right foot, the injured foot.
9.8.
These are pretty nice marks, though.
9.8. 9.6.
I think she's happier tonight, the fact that she doesn't have to skate first like she did in the technical program.
It's tough, believe me.
Yes.
We skated first for about the last 10 competitions.
9.8. 9.6. 9.6.
Couple of 9.6s. But her marks, 97.2. will put her in first place. 193.6 for her 2 programs. Yuka Sato, Japan.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Josee Chouinard.
3-time Canadian women's champion. In the early 90s, got as high as 5th in the world before she decided to turn pro. She won this event back in 1994.
And this is a great program. It's called The Sweater. It's about a girl who gets a sweater from a guy, and she reads more into it than she should, I guess. But you really have to listen closely to the lyrics.
I know you will understand this and feel the intrinsic and incredible emotion. You have just pulled over your heavy warm sweater belonging to a boy. The boy had that heavy gold legs, girl, and all teenage boys with us. And that's all I think that's for to all your clothes.
The toughest part about this program is jumping in this sweater. She practices with it every day. Here's her triple Lutz. Hangs on to it.
Anything other than that, you're only dealing with someone who's different. And the difference is not what you're looking for. You're looking for the boy to get into the same boy that you're involved in. Now, the question on your picture, of course, you can kind of roll and see the jaunty way that this is. Whether it belongs to a boy or a genuine, not someone the bird they love, it's not just something to get on your brother or father. Monday, wear the sweater to school. Be calm, look cute. Don't overreact how to reflection you share behind her. Just be yourself. The best, cute, quiet version of yourself.
The great thing about this program is she is still taking the risk. She did the triple loops, did a triple toe loop, so she's not backing out. All I think of when I see this program is all the times I've given my students the devil for wearing those sweaters hanging down over their hand.
put on a tent on Saturday and keep the ladies on. And you don't have to die alone. You are a strong person and this is a living experience. You can still hold your head high and run the clock and carrying a stinking sweater through your body. You look at that sweater carefully, and you realize it will make you temporarily blind. You got a secret now, honey, and though you would never think as low as him, you could drive it all over the school if you wanted. But later in that sweater said 100%.
This suits her personality so perfectly.
I don't think her husband gave her that sweater. Jean-Michel Bombardier.
Josee
A lot of fun.
Chouinard.
That's one of the great things about the artistic program in pro skating is that you can really stretch the parameters.
But you still have to do the jump.
And she did all right tonight. The men are still to come. Canadian greats, Orser and Browning, at the Canadian Pro.
Oh.
Josee Chouinard along with Mary Jane Stong.
Words where they were clapping that you weren't going to be able to hear the music.
Oh, it was fun.
Very interesting program.
Here's the
Oh, my
triple
God.
lat. She just didn't quite get enough check on the landing. Right there, she over-rotates a little, but she hangs on to the 1 foot.
So hard to do with a sweater, though.
I don't know how she does it. She practices every day with this sweater on.
There's a move you can't do in amateur skating.
And this is a beauty. This triple toe loop was just perfect. You could see her really using her knees here today, whereas in the technical program, she was very stiff.
Exactly. It's going to be interesting to see the marks, too, because I always like watching the judges when a performer is out there skating, and they were smiling, a lot of them, so I think we're going to see some good marks.
Here they come.
9.7.
Number to beat is 193.6 for the combined programs. Look at that, 9.9 technically.
9.9.
I think this number is going to be really tough for Karen to beat.
Karen Kadevi, look at those marks, began this competition heading into tonight's skate only 1/10 ahead of Josee Chouinard. She will have to maintain these types of numbers and better in order to win.
9.7. 9.8. 9.8. 9.8. And 9.8. Total score
98, 194.9, the leader and maybe the champion again of the Canadian Professional Championship with one skater left.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Karen Kadevi.
So, pressure on. But Karen Kadevi lived up to it last year at this event when she won. So now the leader has to put it down.
Skating to Foolish Games by Jewel.
probably is going to cost her the championship right there. Triple toe loop.
That's tough. It was there for her. She landed a beautiful triple loop and had difficulty with the triple that she could pretty much do in her sleep.
The last time Josee and Karen went head-to-head was back in November, and Karen Kadavi won. This lady might win tonight. We'll find out when we come back to the Canadian Pro in Kitchener. Kadavi needs a total of 98 on this skate to beat Josee Chouinard, who has 194.9 for her two skates. A 98 for this skate would give Kadavi the win. She was the leader by 1/10 heading into this artistic program.
She opened with a double axel, which was very nicely done. She just emotionally, to me, wasn't quite all there tonight. Triple loop, she just barely pulls out there. This type of a number works so much better in spotlights, and it's unfortunate that... And here's where she goes down. She just didn't seem to get enough height there.
Just late getting that free foot back. It's so much pressure because to win this event means you go to the World Championship in Washington next week. And so having skated right after Josee and seeing her do the two triples, she knew she had to pull that off, and it's unfortunate.
Ladies and gentlemen, the technical marks for Karen Kadavi.
Josee Chouinard's second event as a professional was in 1994. She went back to the amateur ranks, but she won this event in Hamilton at the time. Let's watch the numbers if you're adding up at home. Again, 98.0 would give her the title.
The artistic marks.
Artistic marks.
9.8.
I don't think these are good enough, these marks.
9.9.
There's a 9.9.
9.9.
Another.
Gonna be close.
Another.
9.7 and 9.8.
A total of 97.7. So Josee Chouinard does it again.
Right now. Where's my mic? Okay, where's my mic?
I think she's adding it up in her own head. She's not sure yet. Somebody tell her. Somebody tell her.
Josee, you what? Josee.
In our heart, Josee. In our heart.
I think she knows now. There she is.
I think she can afford to buy a new sweater now.
Yeah, $50,000 will buy you a few sweaters, Gary. 1997 Canadian Pro Champion. So far, the Canadian Pro has been all Canadian. Russell and Eisler win gold in the pairs event. Josee Chouinard takes gold in the women's. 194.9, 2/10 ahead of Karen Kadavi. Yuka Sato third. Elizabeth Manley finishing fifth. Now with the champion again, let's join Sandra Neal.
Thanks, Rod. Congratulations, Josee. Wow, all those triples. I thought you were going to pull out that triple axel. You told me you got it back.
Well, no, it's probably another time. I thought I would do it today, but maybe in the practice earlier. But no, I didn't plan it for this number. This number is about acting, fun, just enjoying my skating. It's just, it's very, very different, this number, from any other numbers that I've done before. So I just enjoy my time and still did a good triplet so far.
Oh, you sure
so
did.
It's pretty good.
Josee, you're feeling so confident. You were the first one at the rink at practice. I know you're training with Doug Lee. How has that had an impact on you?
Well, I think I have a pretty good team around me. I have Mary Jane, like, checking on everything, making sure I'm ready for the competition. And Doug has been helping me this year so much on my technical. And I think that's why I feel a little bit more confident, and I'm just enjoying my time. Like, I have a good team this year, so.
Josee, this is your first pro win as a married woman. Come on here. We know this guy. Jean-Michel Bombardier, he wants to say congratulations. Good for you guys. Now he's shy.
It's rare. This moment is very rare.
Back to you, Rod.
Rod Black in the technical program, who may have been forgotten a little bit because he skated first, and he skated outstanding.
He landed about 5 or 6 triples, including a triple axel combination, and he got forgotten because he skated first. He was very upset with his marks.
His number, send in the clowns.
Once again, chances are you're not going to see that in the amateur world of figure skating.
1996 United States men's champion, bronze medalist in the world in Edmonton in '96. And they are on their feet in Kitchener for Rudy Galindo.
Rudy Galindo.
The Canadian Professional Figure Skating Championship on CTV will continue in a moment. Rudy Galindo, a skater who has had to endure all of the pitfalls and also the highs in skating. And he is a marvelous, marvelous technician sometimes.
But he's also made the transition to pro skating very well. He was very successful in his first year last year, winning several events. Yeah. This was a beautiful triple toe loop. Technically, there wasn't a lot in this number. In fact, Brian Orser, it's pretty much on the level with what Brian is going to attempt. But he did some really neat things with the hula hoop, particularly the one where he I don't even know what you call it, but it stood on its own while he went and did a jump. That was really neat.
That comes from gymnastics. They use that, put a little bit of backspin on it. I was trying it backstage, but I couldn't get the hula hoop to go around me. Seems to be a difference in size between the two.
I'd like to see that, though.
9.8.
Technical marks to come, followed by the artistic marks. The mark to beat is 194.3 combined.
He's 0.5 behind Brian Orser at this point, so
9.8.
this artistic mark is critical.
There's a 9.9. May see another, maybe more.
9.8.
With his sister Laura, 9.6. His marks 98.1, total 195.4, and he leads. Back in 1988, Brian Orser won the silver medal at the Olympic Saddle Dome in Calgary. His exhibition number was The Story of My Life by Neil Diamond. 10 years later, he's bringing back that program and dedicating it to his best fan.
One of the first times I did it in '88 in Calgary after the Olympics, it was an instant hit, and it was very appropriate, and it was a piece my mom had picked out for me to skate, and it wasn't too often that we would agree on a piece, but this piece we agreed on, and it was a given for me to do it. And then I left it alone after '88, and then 10 years went by, and she passed away, and it was a piece that she always loved and always wanted me to do again. So it was appropriate for the 10-year anniversary of Olympics and for my mom to do it again.
Brian Orser.
The Story of My Life, dedicated to Brian's mom, who passed away almost a year ago.
It was great to see Brian in the technical program get that competitive edge back that he had in his amateur career.
Orser skated that number. His exhibition skate in Calgary. It was his mom's favorite song.
She actually found the music and gave it to him. And he said that she requested it all the time. It was her favorite number of all. And so he decided to bring it back.
She'd be very proud of him tonight.
You heard that, the single Salchow, the triple, you heard him exclamate.
It's unfortunate because he's been nailing that triple Salchow.
Fine, felt comfortable. It was like everything setup was perfect.
I think he was just thinking a bit too much.
Now, there was an awful lot of emotion in the performance. We were watching it earlier in the practice, and I was sitting with the judges. There was a tear in his eye, and I looked down, and there was a tear in everybody's eye.
Yeah.
And we all just...
And everybody that knew her.
Welcome, the woman. Her. Oh, thank you.
She was an amazing lady who couldn't watch him compete.
Yeah. But she was just his biggest fan of all time.
She was watching tonight.
She was.
Talking with him last night after the technical program, he was so jacked up. He was so happy, and it's so nice to see the refocus back. And
9.8.
He's really had difficulty getting that competitive edge in his professional career. The competitions really haven't been a big focus for him. He loves to perform.
9.9. 9.9.
Nice mark.
9.8. 9.9.
Yeah. Come on,
9.9.
one more.
9.9. And 9.9. Total score is 98.4.
Brian Orser is the leader, 196.2. One skater left.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Kurt Browning.
Kurt Browning in 1988 was just a youngin'. His first Winter Olympics, and then after that, what a career. 4 world titles. He's the leader in this event.
And he is the king of professional skating right now.
Certainly appears to have everything under control tonight.
Unbelievable camel spin.
Single axle, and then he checks out and lands 2 feet, but intentionally on 2 feet.
Is he the most versatile skater, or what?
And positively the most talented. He just does everything so effortlessly. And he's all round. He hits a golf ball like that. He plays hockey.
He got a hole-in-one like the first time he ever played.
And he's just a wonderful athlete. And anybody that doesn't appreciate the athleticism and figure skating certainly can see it there with Kurt.
And he just oozes showmanship and class. And there is his wife, Sonia. You know, I always thought that Scott Hamilton had some of the best feet I had ever seen in skating, but I think in the last couple of years, Kurt has gone above and beyond what even Scotty could do.
He just keeps getting better and better and better.
Well, one thing for sure, we will have an all-Canadian sweep for the first time at the Canadian Professional Championship. Kurt's marks after this. I think it's kind of funny that he chose an Elvis tune.
He was telling me actually at the hotel earlier that he's already preparing for next year, because obviously there's going to be some newcomers to the pro scene after the Olympics, and so he's starting to add more difficulty in preparation for that. This is a beautiful triple loop.
Now we're going to see the camel spin, and the unique thing about this, we're going to stop it in a minute.
You guys gonna leave me?
Right there. If you can stop it now, he's on an outside edge. Everybody else spins out on a back inside. He's on a forward outside. Keep it going now, and you can see he stays on that outside edge. Extremely difficult to do. Very few skaters can perform that spin. Also, it's perfectly centered.
So much has always been made about Kurt being such a great skater and not winning an Olympic medal. And you know one thing about him is that he's never let that affect him, where so many people thought it might. He's just pushed it and pushed it even higher. His talent is immeasurable.
10.
A 10.
9.9.
We may see a couple of more 10s on that artistic mark.
9.9.
Well, the judges are instructed that a 10 is to be a memorable performance of a lifetime. And I don't think I can argue with that 10. I think that was certainly a brilliant performance.
10.
There's one.
9.9. 9.9. 9.8. And 9.9.
Add it up. 99. Kurt Browning, 197.5. Put another record in the history books. Add another title to his name. Canadian Pro Championship for 1997.
For both the ladies and
All Canada night in Kitchener. 3 gold medals. Kurt Browning does it for the 2nd year in a row. Brian Orser, the silver. Rudy Galindo, 3rd. Gary Beacom is 4th. Let's join Sandra.
Rod, I'm with a jubilant winner, Kurt Browning.
I think I just realized.
You didn't play it safe at all in this competition. You pulled out all your weapons, defending your title in the process.
Played a little safe tonight. Didn't put in a triple-triple tonight. It just more because the program didn't seem to have a spot for it. It's a program designed for stars and ice, so it's not designed for a triple-triple. So I decided to play it safe. Had a terrible triple loop warm-up. I don't know what was going wrong, but it worked.
You gave us a scare checking out of that first jump, but you definitely recovered. The difference for you in the win this year versus last year?
I think last year was a little different in that it had been, it was sort of like was the first year a fluke in a way. I had a good season, and then I sort of had to prove myself. I think I'm a little calmer this year. I didn't really feel like I had anything to prove. Just go, enjoy, entertain, and see what happens.
Congratulations, Kurt. We're going to move over to our 2nd place winner, Brian Orser. Congratulations. You told me you didn't want to invite any family here because you didn't know how well you did. You did great.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, in the past, I just get all worked up, and I don't know. It's just something I want to skate well. I want to skate so well when I'm at home, and I let it get to me. So I've just been very, like, in the background here and just staying very low-key. Just I know my job to do, and that's what I came to do.
This is a tough month for you. Almost a year, your mom passed away. So many emotions we could see on your face, but it seemed to buoy you, at least for part of the performance. You felt really light. What does it mean to you?
Well, yeah, whenever I skate the number, there is a real lightness, and I guess there's just a special closeness to her when I'm out there doing that number. To me, she's in my heart, and my blades and my arms, my legs, everything during that performance.
You could see that.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thanks.
Brian. Back to you, Rod.
An understandably emotional Brian Orser. An excited Kurt Browning. Needless to say, what can't be said that hasn't been said about this
The
guy?
guy is so amazing. I don't think he's lost anything that he's entered in the last couple of years. He's the ultimate right now in professional skating. He can't miss.
Now, like you were, and you still are, because you could keep skating forever, but this is your last Canadian professional event. A lot of memories from this?
Yeah. It wasn't about the win on here tonight. Sure, it would have been great to win, but I have some really special moments. Seeing my daughter and my husband in the audience, and I'm going to hold those in my heart forever.
And you should. You were a terrific, terrific skater, a legend, too. And you're a legend in the broadcast booth, too.
I'm going to stick around here, though.
I hope you will forever. For Barb Underhill.